Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome back to another project, which is this one here. It's a tall gift box with a lid and it measures 6 inches tall and 2 3/4 inches square. I've made this using Petal Pink cardstock with Cherry Cobbler for my layers here, and I used the Parisian Blossoms designer series paper with the Petal Pink champagne edged ribbon, which was part of that suite as well. This is in our outgoing spring summer mini catalogue, so at the time of filming this designer series paper was still in stock, so if you like it and if you want to get it, then I would certainly order that sooner rather than later. My sentiment here, sending hugs, is from our downloadable fundraising Share Sunshine PDF, which I did show a couple of days ago in my Simple Sundays project, so pop back and have a look there and you'll see all the different sentiments and greetings and messages that are on that. It is being sold to raise money for a couple of organisations doing a lot of work at the moment around COVID-19, but if you look back at my Simple Sundays project, you'll get all the details there. I will pop a link in the description bar below if you do want to buy it, so I'll pop a link to let you have a look at that. So I'm going to make this again, but in a slightly different colourway, still sticking with the designer series papers from the Parisian Blossoms suite, but this time I'm going to use Pool Party and my layers will be in Petal Pink, so I'll show you how I made it. So first of all, what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock for the base of the box, which measures 11.5 inches by 8 1/4, so almost a full sheet of A4. You'll need a smaller piece which measures just over 6 1/4 inches square, or 6 5/16 by 6 5/16, if you will. And the panels for the sides of the box here, you'll need a piece of Petal Pink cardstock which measures 2 5/8 by 5 7/8, and you'll need 4 of those, and you'll also need 4 pieces of DSP just to mat on top of those, and they measure 2.5 by 5 3/4, so you'll need 4 of those as well. And then for the lid, you'll need a square piece for the top of the lid, and this part here measures, let me think now, 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, and the DSP measures 2.5 by 2.5. Let me just double check that. 2 5/8 and 2.5, yep. And then you'll need 4 each of these pieces for the lid, so you'll need 4 pieces of Petal Pink which measure 2 5/8 by 1 5/8, and you'll need 4 pieces of DSP which measure 2.5 by 1.5. So I've done a bit of the gluing already with some of the panels just to save a little bit of time in the video, but I'll show you how I put a couple of them together. You'll also need a piece of scrap Petal Pink and scrap Whisper White as well for when it comes to doing the greeting or the sentiment. So we'll do a little bit of scoring first of all, and I'll try and avoid the glare as much as I can. So on the long side of your box, you're going to score at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11, and then turn it round and score on the short side at 2 1/4. Now I know I said the base is 2 3/4 square, but I wanted the 6-inch height, so I made the panels on the bottom slightly smaller, but the width is still 2 3/4, and you'll see what I mean when we come to put the box together. And actually, while I've got my scoreboard out, I think we'll just do the scoring for the lid as well. So on all 4 sides you're going to score the lid at 1 3/4 inches. So it's just the same on all 4 sides. There we are, and that's all the scoring done. So let's get that scoreboard out of the way. So fold and burnish on all your score lines. Oops, I think I missed that. Apologies for the plaster on my thumb. I gave myself a humdinging paper cut earlier when I was putting a postal box together, and had to put a plaster on, so I do apologise for the plaster. So this is the box, and you'll see that we've got this thin strip here, and we're going to remove this bottom part here as we normally would for any other box. So I'm just taking the score line with me as usual when I remove that panel. Just wedge it a little bit there, and then I'm going to wedge a little bit there as well. Okay, and then I'm going to cut either side of that score line just very, very slightly to both sides, and just remove that all together just to make the base go together a little bit neater. So just slightly to each side. I think my scissors are a little bit sticky. Okay, so it's just a tiny little bit that's coming off, just so that we don't have any overlap when we put the base of the box together, because all these are exactly the same size. There we go. So that's what you're left with in terms of the base. Okay, so as I say, I've done all my gluing ahead of time just to save some time. So I've already got my panels ready to pop on to my box. So I'll just add some glue around all of these panels and stick them on. And we'll see if I can do this without getting covered in glue, which I can never manage, but we'll see, maybe today. Now that needs to move over a little bit, I think. I think I got away with that just. We'll see what it's like once the box is all together. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just making sure I'm getting glue into these corners, because these corners are the bits that will start to lift once the box is put together. That looks okay. Oops. Every time I go to do that, I move the panels. Never mind. There we go. Another panel on here, like so. And the last one. Oops. We're just on here. Just make sure that's straight with a fairly even border around it. There we are. And then I'm just going to give these an extra press from behind. There we are. Okay, so to put my box together, as always, I need to add some tearing tape along the folded edge just here. There. And my ruler just to get a straight edge there, and I'm going to pop that together before I put any of the rest of my tape on, so that I know which piece is which at the base. Oh dear, pulling this apart. So remove that tape, or the backing of the tape, and just bring that over, and that's my box together. So this seam here is going to be at the back of the box, so I know that this is going to be my front panel. So I'm just going to pop a couple of bits of tearing tape on here to keep it secure, because I'm not sure what I'm going to put in this box yet, which means that these two panels are going to be my sides and that's going to be my back panel. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape on one of the sides and on the back panel just to help hold those down. So give those an extra burnish. Take the backing tape off the side and the back panel. Roll back any overhang. Just check again, this is the back here. So I'm going to bring in my two side panels like so, and the back panel like that, and then the front panel is the last one to be folded over. And again, just make sure that I sort any overhang and press that down. And then inside, I just want to give that a bit of a press, and that's my box made. So I'm just going to sit that out of the way just now and come in and put my lid together too. So as you've seen, if you've watched my other videos before, I'm going to cut up each corner, removing the score line as I go, and wedge on each side of that smaller square like so, and then rotate it to do the same again. And I'm going to do that on all four corners. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and finish that, and then I'll put on some of my panels and I'll come back to you very shortly. And I'm back. So that's my lid all prepped. I've put on the side panels and I've put the tape on all the flaps, and I've already removed the backing. So all I need to do is just finish prepping the panel for the middle of the lid. So I'll put the DSP onto the card and then stick that onto the lid. So just make sure that's centered. And I'll just check that. And there we go. And then put some glue around the edges of cardstock and pop that into the centre of the lid. I think that looks okay. Yep. Just press that down. Give it a little varnish. There we go. And then all I need to do is just pop the corners of my lid together, and it's this straight edge to this folded edge, as you've seen me do before, and many other paper crafters as well. It actually makes this quite a strong box when you've got the card and the DSP panels on top as well, so it gives it a little bit of extra strength. Just give those an extra press. There we are. And as always, the moment of truth when you put the lid on. There we are. So that's my box together. So just remembering that this seam is at the back of my box, so this is the front and that's the part I'm going to decorate. So I'll get rid of this glue, and then I used, instead of using the PDF sentiments, I'm actually going to use the Heartfelt photopolymer stamp set, which is carrying over from the Spring Summer mini catalogue into the new annual catalogue. And I'm actually going to use this little heart outline here and So Lucky to Have a Friend Like You, which I've already got mounted on blocks here. Wasn't clever to sit them on the top of the other though, Karen. And I'm going to stamp those in Pool Party. So I need my scrap of Whisper White cardstock, which is here, and just ink up my heart outline and stamp that there. And I'm hoping I've not stamped that too low, but we'll soon find out. And then I'm going to try and get this in the middle of this heart, but I'm not right above it, so I'm hoping it will be straight and in the middle. So let's have a go and see. That's not bad. It's not stamped very well though. I'm not very happy with that. So let's actually turn that over and I'll give my stamps a clean. So I'm sorry if I'm moving the tripod, and I'll try that again. So let's try that again. There we go. So I'll stamp it a little bit higher up this time. There we go. It is not stamping too well, but I'm just going to go with it this time and try and get my So Lucky to Have a Friend Like You straight and in the middle. That's stamped a little bit better. I'm still not very happy with it. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll go with it anyway. And I'm going to use my Heart Punch Duo, the plain punch and the scalloped punch. So I'm going to punch this out with the plain heart. That looks about right. And then I'm going to punch out a scalloped heart in the petal pink, like that. And then I'm just going to glue this one onto the petal pink. Like so. And I'm just going to make sure that that's centred with an even border around it, and that looks okay to me. There we go. Just press it so that I don't move it, and then pop some dimensionals on the back of the heart. And pop that on the front of my box, just about there. There we are. And then all I need to do now is cut a piece of ribbon and tie a little bow, just to pop on the front, she said, with a plaster on our thumb, so we'll see if it works. Yep, just get this bit through. There we are. Whoops. And you can just pull that back and forward to get the size of bow that you want, but I'm happy with that. I'm just wanting to tie that knot a little bit tighter. I think that should do. So cut that at a little bit more of an angle. That looks okay. And then just grab a couple of glue dots on the back of my bow, like so. Oops, not stick myself to it. There we are. Stick that to the lid, and that's my box finished. I probably needed to tie that bow a little bit tighter, but I'll sort that once we're finished. I probably could have made that bow slightly bigger, so I think I'll sort that once the video's finished. And that's my boxes. So I hope you like them. I'm not sure which I like. I like them both, but I think my favourite is probably the pink. There's just something about it that I really like. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until I see you again, take care. Remember, I'll pop a link to the downloadable PDF in the description bar below. And I'll see you again soon. Stay safe and take care. Bye bye.